I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life.
It gets my happiest was when I first got to Chicago and I found out I could play on this level, you know, and I started to feel the enthusiasm coming within the city, you know, and then go out and showcase your talent in front of starving fans who were looking for some type of change. And that to me was very gratifying, along with the birth of my kids. I can never overlook that.
Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for. Every single day of my life, maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
I never feel that I'm at my best. I feel I still have room to improve. I still set goals for myself to strive for. I'm never complacent with what I've achieved. Even though it's been very successful for me, I still feel I have a lot to prove, not just as a player, but as a person, as a father, to some extent as a role model in all aspects. So I'm never really too complacent with myself or with what I've achieved. When I get to a point where I feel I can improve as a player, I walk away from the game.
I haven't had any disappointments. I mean, you know, sports is a tool that teaches, you know, and it teaches you bad things. It can also teach you good things. It's how you perceive those things. I've looked at every experience that I've had, negative and positive, and taken that as a positive. You know, if I wouldn't change anything because I think it would alter some of the other things that happened. You know, so when I look back, I can't say that I've had any bad things happen. Sure, I mean, you don't want bad things to happen, but you deal with bad things. You can't have good or without bad. No, I've never been afraid. I mean, obviously you're nervous, but afraid means you're not confident in your skills. I have total confidence in my skills, so I'm not afraid. Learn as we move forward, and we learn from the past, and we try to project the future. I mean, where are we going to be in 20, 21 years? I don't know, you know, which is the beauty of, you know, creativity. But we're going to keep striving, trying to get things better and better. You know, that comes from learning over the past 20 years and 21 years. And we're going to keep trying to turn that around and make it happen for the next 20 years.
You had the utmost confidence. Your confidence level was through the roof. Where is it now?
On top of the roof. I don't think my confidence changed. I wouldn't have come back into this situation.
I've looked at every experience that I've had, negative and positive, and taken that as a positive. You know, if I wouldn't change anything because I think it would alter some of the other things that happened. You know, so when I look back, I can't say that I've had any bad things happen. Sure, I mean, you don't want bad things to happen, but you deal with bad things. You can't have good or without bad.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price. So I pull people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged. Once you join the team, you live at a certain standard that I played the game, and I wasn't going to take any less.
You know, basketball is my love, always have been, and I can't ever envision an ending of something like that. You know, that passion that I have for the game until I'm dead and gone. Until that's when it's, well, I could wait. I'm not in it. I don't want to look so far in the future that, you know, I'm pressed to live out a certain schedule. My life has always been, and my motto has always been to live it day by day, you know, and not try to think so far in advance that you kind of forget about the present. You know, I want to live for the present at this particular. His dresses doesn't bother me. His hair doesn't bother me. Sure, I mean, he's going to go wacko every now and then.
We've come to live with that. We've come to accept that. But you can't find another player on the basketball court that works just as hard as Dennis Rodman. Gives 110%, dives at loose balls, even if he can't get them. That's Dennis Rodman. So I don't have a problem with Dennis, and I don't think Phil does. I don't think Dennis does. I don't think Scotty does. We've been able to control him to some degree. And look, we're here for champions back to back. You guys may love him. He may say a lot of crazy things, and David Stern may find him $50,000. The guy doesn't care about money.
Each time that you win, it takes away a little bit of that hunger, which is a challenge within itself. It's a battle within your mind to find a challenge to go to that same place that you've been 5 times before, and that's hard. When people say, well, the first one was the hardest, no, the last one's the hardest because you're battling with yourself.
Because a lot of times I had to battle with myself to keep challenging myself. That to me was why I would say that the biggest battle was myself. Because when you get to a certain pinnacle, you got to find some ways to keep going out there for 82 games.
Sure. I think that's the way you learn about dealing with all different types of players, dealing with the game and the expanding of the game. You brought a different attitude, a different expansion to the game. Magic, Larry, myself.
I just think that I have the habits of working hard. I always been taught that to reach a goal that in life that you want, you have to work hard to get to it. And so far, I just have that in mind.
Determination, what your motives are, what your ambitions were from the beginning. It's been a lot of soul searching in terms of it's easy to sit back and say, well, I've given my best. I'm tired. Somebody else got to do it or whatever. I didn't take that approach. I thought positively and said whatever I could do, every little inch of energy that I have, I'm going to try to provide for this team. If you give up, then they give up. So I didn't want to give up. No matter how sick I was, or how tired I was, or how low on energy I was, I felt the obligation, to my team, to the city of Chicago, to go out and give that extra effort to achieve it even harder.
This is a guy who came from a little town who evolved to be an important part to the history of the game of basketball, which is how anybody wants to be remembered. And then when I did choose to come back, I didn't let that be a base or a goal. I wanted to extend further than that. I want to get back to that level and extend it further if I could. That was part of my driving force. My competitive drive is far greater than anyone else that I've met. I think that I thrive on that. I think that's my biggest motivation in life, is to compete, find different competitions in certain things in life and try to overcome that, be it positive or negative. But I have yet to meet someone who is as competitive as me, and I just feel that much confident about my competitive drive.
Unfortunately, I had to be on the rebounding edge, but the offense, I had to step forward.
A lot of these guys that I'm playing with now never really experienced when Chicago Stadium was only 6,500 people watching the game. That builds camaraderie between friends and players and coaches and stuff like that.
I still feel that I have a plateau that, I hadn't reached yet in terms of my skills or my expectations of myself. I'm always going to expect myself to do certain things or surpass certain things. As long as I believe that, then, my road to success is going to continue to expand.
The city of Chicago has earned it. For years we've been, wait till next year. Now we're 5 out of 7 years champions. That means a lot. For once, don't look at the bottom line. Look at the joy of this night and every night that we have won a championship and the enjoyment that you have put together an unbelievable organization that's been champions for 5 out of 7 years.
My principal advised me to go to an Air Force Academy because he felt that after I finished college, I'd have a job. So I said, no, I don't want to go that route. So I decided to go to the University of North Carolina. A lot of people didn't expect me to do so well, but I guess that was a challenge that I faced. And sometimes you have to face those challenges and see what happens.
But I believe, and I've always believed that when the team is successful, everybody shines. All the individual accolades that take care of themselves, everybody's going to blossom from this whole situation. So when I'm with my team, and you've seen it, I'm not going to be the one that overshadows everyone. If you I want your comments as much as his comments. If you're expecting me to carry the whole weight or speak the whole time, I don't want to do that, because then I'm taking more of the responsibility. When you are just as adult as I am, you have an opinion just as much as I do. We need that to form this team.